Hey guys, we're lucky enough here not to have a split screen today. We've actually got Dr. Arron Morris here from, we'll explain that in a minute, from either Barcelona or America. And hey Arron, welcome.
Thanks very much for having me.
And the cool thing is we spoke about having this meeting whilst you've been in Barcelona 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we decided to kind of do it in the same room whilst you're here. So what are you here in Australia for at the moment?
Well, we thought we were here giving a seminar, but ended up getting a lot of sun as well. So we got a little bit of a sunburn. Nobody told us we had to wear sunscreen.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here actually giving a technique seminar.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and decided to take an extra week and just kind of chill and relax.
Yeah, and so
it's been incredible actually.
And you've been down, obviously, the nice side of the bay, down on the Torquay. When I first met Arron, my first mention to Arron to come down to Torquay, he's like, how do you pronounce that, Torquay? Torquay. So it's definitely
I've been practicing. I think I got it now.
Yeah, about time. So anyway, awesome. A lot of you guys in Australia don't know Arron at all, but you will, obviously, after the seminar. But I've known him now for probably 5 to 8 years now, whilst I was living in Italy and also here in Barcelona. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a chiropractor. I've been practicing for 15 years. I started when I was young. I was 20 when I started, and I was just probably the youngest guy in my class. Loved school, got into chiropractic and just was absolutely in love with it. And then I just took that passion. I was very much well, let's say when I was going through school, I wasn't so into the science. I was very, very much into the philosophy and the adjusting.
Yep.
So I took that and I just made that my focus, and I just trusted the chiropractor was going to work. I had some really, really good mentors in the States. And then when I went into practice, things were just really, really easy because I knew I just trusted chiropractic would work.
Can you, who are some of your mentors?
Some of my really big mentors, probably the biggest mentor was a guy named Jay Comeric.
Okay.
And he's a very famous animal chiropractor in the States, but he's just such a great guy.
Yeah.
And when I met him, he'd been doing it for probably 30 years. And yeah, just a legend. And so Jay was really good. Arnaud Brunier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Making love to the spine?
Making love to the spine, yeah. He was, great guy. Learned a lot from him. Sue Brown used to be when she was around. Yeah, Lou Corletto, Stu Bittman, just some great people.
Okay, cool. Well, we've had some of those guys on our stage, and we've got Lou coming this year as well in 2019. So, I would love to know, you were saying before, you've been in practice for 15 years or so. You spend most of that time in the Barcelona. Some of our people do know that the IN8 Summit has got a lot of international people speaking. And the reason why we do that is because in Australia, for some reason, we're so far away and we don't get exposure to a lot of the big seminars in Europe and America. So it's awesome to have you guys coming out here. So tell me a bit about your kind of traveling time and what you've managed to do practice-wise, growing-wise, and also where you've worked in Barcelona or in Spain.
Well, when I got to Barcelona, I came out of school, I was 23. Really young, really excited. And I went over to Barcelona because I wanted to, I was hired to cover someone's practice while they were pregnant. So I was doing a pregnancy coverage. And then that was supposed to be 5 months, and it just ended up being 14 years. When I started, it was like, I didn't really know. I had this idea of the number of people I wanted to see per week, and I thought it would take me a long time to get there, but it came really, really, really fast.
Yep.
I ended up taking over that practice, moving into a bigger space, and the practice kept growing and growing and growing.
Yep.
So I got to be pretty high volume. I guess you can consider pretty high volume. But as I did that, I was completely in love with chiropractic, but it was like the busier and busier that I got, somehow I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I had some real challenges that I won't get into right now, but just an understanding of what is it that really makes me happy as a chiropractor now.
Yeah.
And now when I'm in practice, I love it more than ever.
Good.
So yeah, it's really, really awesome. I ended up selling that practice in Barcelona, moved down to the south of Spain for a little while, and then I've been back in Barcelona for a few years. And I don't think I've ever been happier as a chiropractor. It's awesome. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think we're excited about having you speak on stage this year, because, numbers in Australia, people get scared about numbers, but yet I think it's a valuable point to kind of measure. But also, the end of the day, having a dream practice is pretty important. And if there's guys that are hunting for the 300, 400, 500, 600 people a week, I know that you've been up around that number. I won't say exactly what number you've been at, but I know that you have been in the high volumes of what most of Australian chiros couldn't even fathom.
Yes.
But now there's some of the Australian guys doing those kind of things, which is great. But then also to say that some volume isn't the most important thing. For you to enjoy practice is awesome.
To enjoy practice, and it's really number one is being healthy. It's being healthy, enjoying what you're doing, and finding joy.
Yeah.
Because people always ask me, well, what do I do to get more patients? What do I do to keep patients with me? What do I do to get better retention? and conversion. So these new patients start, and it's like they want the magic bullet. They want the special. Just do this, this, and this. Yeah, that's fine. All that's fine. But number one is you got to be enjoying.
Yeah, sure.
And if you're loving what you're doing, then you become attractive.
Dude.
And when you're attractive, people come to you, and it's just easy. And you know that.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the reason why you're so attractive for your clients is because you're so good looking externally as well. Is that right?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So we're sorted. Sweet.
You got it, man.
Nice. Well, I don't want to be too long here. It's awesome having you here.
Yeah.
The best thing that some of us talk about science, and there's a science philosophy, almost argument discussion, and what's more important. And often, a lot of the times, the art side of things, we know it's good, but it kind of gets lost. And what I'm loving so much about having you guys out here is the fact that you and Patrick, who obviously you're out here doing this entropy stuff with, are rock stars, and your passion is adjustments. And I was lucky enough to receive the adjustment from you recently. And I just love the fact that you've come out, you've started this program called Syntropy. No one even knew about it in Australia, with 60 people or so, and you've sold that out in pretty much a month and a half.
Yeah.
And that's because I believe personally, and I'm seeing you, that you have the why, which is the philosophy, but then getting any technique and making that technique usable.
Yeah.
And mate, that's hats off to you. Awesome. And tell us a little bit about Syntropy now, and then we kind
just really briefly. It's not so much a technique as it is a lens through which you can see and use any technique. So it's what we teach are principles for adjusting. And a lot of times we go through and we've been adjusting for years and years and years, and we forget a lot of the basics, or we were never really taught the basics.
Yeah.
So it's like going back, cleaning up the basics so that as you do the little things right and you add those all together, it makes for an incredible adjustment. So it can be applied to whatever technique, really.
Yeah.
And people get great results. So it's like you take people who are sometimes students who are really shaky and they're not really real confident with what they're doing, and take them from clumsy to competent. So they're like, okay, I feel pretty good with what I'm doing. And then you have other chiropractors who've been doing it for a while, have really good hands, and they feel like they're great adjusters. But then you go, how can you fine tune that to take that to an elite level?
Sure.
So Syntropy is about taking you from wherever you are to just constantly improving and making yourself as good as you can be. And it never ends.
No, awesome. And that's kind of what we want. Speaking at the IN8 Summit this year, we want to have that kind of, I suppose, synchronicity in amongst our philosophy, but also allowing us to serve more people. So the last thing we'll ask is, you might have touched on it, is we do want to focus. We have been told by our audience that they want to try and find out more information about how to get new clients, how to retain them, but also how to communicate with them. In your talk this year, anything you can kind of see that might be of value for those kind of areas? I'm just going to share my experience, which has been going from doing a lot of outside marketing and getting people from the outside to come into my practice and start care, and it was hard, like going out and screenings and doing all these things that I didn't really love doing, and then shifting it from more of an internally driven practice. And that's what we're going to talk about, is how to get that. Sweet. And it really comes from the inside out, just like chiropractic. Okay. Practice should be growing from the inside out. Brilliant. So we'll get into that. Can't wait. So thank you so much for everything you're doing, man. It's really, really exciting. So happy to be here. We're going to wait to have you here. And the last time I have heard on the grapevine that you obviously, after the IN8 Summit, there might be a Syntropy 2 happening. Is that true? Yeah, we are definitely thinking about that. So what we'll likely do is the weekend after the IN8 Summit, hold a seminar. So we'll see how this first one goes. If people liked it, then we'll be back. Nice. All right. Well, thanks, mate, for having you here. It's awesome. And thank you. Look forward to having you back here in, I'll say, sunny August. Yeah. Okay. It's definitely not going to happen that way, but we'll hope it's going to be sunny, because August is pretty much our coldest month. But anyway, you'll get both seasons. So, cool. All right, guys, there you go. You heard it from Arron, and stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. This guy's a rock star, and we will have him in a few months' time at the IN8 Summit. See you soon. Cool. See you.